Greetings and welcome to Quick Tips for Distant Worlds. Today we're going to be looking at maxing out our HomeWorld, both population-wise and tax revenue-wise, and we'll be doing this over the next several game years. It does take a little bit to establish this. So we're going to get started by selecting the HomeWorld, and I have done a few things prior to this. I've set my designs and science and that, but none of this really applies to what we're doing, so we won't talk too much about that. We're the humans this time around, and we have 2.4 billion people on this planet at plus 3% growth rate. Default was a 24% tax rate, making us 7K, or which is rounded up actually from 6,200 in cash flow. So what we're going to do is come into our colony screen, and if you watch my other video on pirate protection, you'll see that I usually reduce my taxes down to 0 just to keep the protection fees down. This kind of ties in with that because we're going to also be reducing our tax rate to 0 once again. So that's the first thing we do. And we'll set up our construction stuff here, which is a small spaceport. And we'll grab a construction ship. Actually, we'll grab 2 construction ships. Energy research, high-tech research, and weapons research. So that spends our money down and keeps our taxes low. So now if we come back out and we start up, and we'll just watch this number here, the 3%. Actually, we'll just speed this up a bit. That should jump momentarily. There we go. So now we're at 15% growth for our HomeWorld. So the pirate should be along any moment. Any moment. There they are. Okay, and once again we got rock bottom pricing for our pirate protection just because we spent most of our money. So we will accept that and carry on. Okay, so and just to show once more, we have 4K pirate protection rather than the 8 or 12K that it normally costs by having our taxes up and all kinds of money laying around. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to actually pause the recording and we will come back shortly. There is one point during this where I have to actually put my taxes back up because we do run out of money here. So I'm going to pause the recording and we'll come back at that point and we'll have a look. Okay, we haven't progressed a whole lot yet. We're still within the first year of the game, but just one more thing I wanted to point out is keep an eye on the GDP number. I'm not sure what that was when we first started. It was somewhere in the 40s anyways, but that's going to keep climbing as our HomeWorld grows. And as you can see, we've actually jumped up to 18%, and we are 400 million more people within the first year of the game. So I just wanted to point that out, and I'm going to pause the recording once again, and we will carry on, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so another game year has passed, so we're just going to have a quick look at what's going on. As you can see, our population has jumped quite a bit. This did go up to 20% and then drop back down to 18%, so that did fluctuate a wee bit. But as you can see, our GDP is way up. So we're going to carry on, just as this is. And we'll see where we end up. So once again, I will pause the video and we'll come back shortly. Okay, so at this point we're at game year 5. And as you can see, numbers have climbed pretty good. The only number that dropped was our plus 18% went to plus 15%. But it's still better than plus 3% that we started with before doing our tax adjustment. As you can see, we have quite a bit more population at this point. And our GDP has grown considerably. Now what I have to do now, because I have a construction ship that's ready to do something, I have no cash. I have no money for them to actually start building anything else. So that's a current problem. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back in and we will see, we'll just start at maybe 25%. We'll raise back up to 25%. And we can actually go a bit more than that. So maybe we'll go to 30. I'm just looking at the happiness levels here. I'm just wanting to make sure that we're within the satisfied realm. So I could probably go to 35. And we will check on that again. Okay, so we'll go to 35%. Now what I'm going to do is let that run for a bit until I get a little bit of money stockpiled here. And we'll just start up here. So as you can see, we're doing considerably better than the 6,200 that we started the game at. And if we would have left our tax rate at, or our growth rate and taxes at, the 3% and everything, yeah, we'd still be sitting at around probably even less than the 6,200. So that's a considerable jump, and we're not even done yet. So I'm just doing this, like I said, just to get some money stockpiled so I can put this construction ship back to work. So as you can see, that's starting to drop now. So it takes a few minutes for the money to start coming in, but we'll just let this run for a minute. Shouldn't take too long, so I'm just going to I won't pause the recording until we see what the result is. And there's not too much to say right now, so I'm just going to shut up and let it run. Okay, so we're starting to get into the black again, or the white in this case, I guess. So I just basically want enough money to put this construction ship back to work. So I don't think I need a whole lot here. Okay, got some science done. I want to come over here actually. So let's just see how much this is going to cost us. A mining station will cost us 1,700. So actually, let's just pause right there. So that's enough money to actually get started again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in. I'm going to drop this right back to 0 once more. And I am going to get him busy mining that. We'll start up again. And as you can see, our cash flow dropped because of our tax adjustment. And just select our HomeWorld for a minute. And we're back up to 15%. That did drop a bit, but it's certainly better than the 3% we're at. So once again, I'm going to let the game run, and we will come back, and I think the next step will be once we're maxed out, and we'll just have a look at the numbers. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we are. We're at game year 13, and our HomeWorld is just maxed out at 15.5 billion people. And as you can see, our GDP has come up considerably. The planet value has also come up considerably. And what we're going to do now, as you can see, my money is in pretty dire situation here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come in and we're going to set our tax rate. And where was I? 35%, I think, before. So we'll just have a quick look and see what that does. And it's satisfied, but maybe we'll drop down to 30. Just to sort of get us a little bit above +2. Okay, so +7, we're still in the realm of satisfied, so that's fine. So we're at a 30% tax rate. So let's close this and we'll start the game up just a bit. And we'll watch our cash flow number here. Okay, there we go. 63,000 to the good in our cash flow. So that is a considerable jump from the 6,200 we started with. And that'll clean up our money situation here fairly shortly. I might as well just let the game run. One thing about this particular game was there wasn't a whole lot of planets in here to mine. Only had one rune, so there wasn't a whole lot to do in here. So I got away with just having to do the one tax adjustment to get some money back. So your mileage may vary. You may have to do that trick a couple times just to get some money stockpiled so you can continue mining and retrofitting your bases and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. It also depends on what race you're playing, depends on what year you're going to end up with, the tech level you're running at, stuff like that. So your mileage will vary, but this is a sound strategy to reduce your taxes to 0 and max out your planet first. And by year, like I said, by game year 13, your cash flow is rocking pretty good. Now you can start building all kinds of ships, and you can actually afford to do that. Once your money comes back, the money won't take too long to start piling up again. So maybe we'll just let that run for a couple minutes. I'm just wondering if there's anything else to say on this. I don't think there is. Like I said, your mileage will vary. You'll have to play it by year and see just what you need at that particular point. So as you can see, our money's starting to come back now. And we'll just let it run for a little bit longer and we'll get back into the black. There we go. So as you can see, the money will start coming back fairly quickly once you do your final tax adjustment. And I could have went to 35% and had that climb just a little. Actually, just out of curiosity, let's just see what the extra 5% will do for us here. Okay, and that gives us still in the realm of satisfied. Getting kind of down to the wire though, but let's just see what our cash flow ends up at just by going another 5% on that. Takes a minute to kick in. There we go. Now we're at 70. So as you can see, you can really get your cash flow improved by doing this little trick. And I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't been doing it all along. If you look at my other Let's Plays, I usually just run with whatever tax rate I start with and maybe do a quick little bit of adjustment. But yeah, I should have been doing this all along, I think. It definitely helps the beginning of the game. You do starve a bit in the beginning. And like I said, your mileage may vary. You may have to jump your taxes back up just to get a bit of money to get some stuff done. But I got fortunate in this game where there wasn't a whole lot to do in here. And I'm still going for warp precursors here, so I haven't actually broken out into this area at all. I did find some extra maps while I was booting around in here. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's much else to say. And I hope this was helpful to somebody. And we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.